So we talked about prisons. Let's talk about jails. One thing that jails still have looming overhead is the no cash bail provision that's held up by the Illinois Supreme Court from being implemented. That was supposed to be implemented 20 days ago. But after being sued by sheriffs across the state and state's attorneys across the states, the no cash bail provision is on hold. And that could be on hold until the Illinois Supreme Court makes a decision sometime later on in March, possibly. But another issue that's impacting jails is what to do with inmates who are deemed unfit for trial. And Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a bill. It was an omnibus health package, dealt with nursing homes, hospitals, but also at the last minute, they included an element that changed the timeline for when the state has to take criminal defendants awaiting trial who are deemed unfit for trial. The state has to take those individuals and evaluate them and rehabilitate them to get them to go and be able to face trial. But the state has not been doing that in a timely manner across the state, including here in Sangamon County, where you've got jailers at the jail, not a prison, a jail. They don't have the resources to deal with this. Jim Kychek, he's with the Illinois Sheriff's Association, chatted with him earlier this week about the governor signing this bill. Here's what he had to say.
So it's going to make, you've got folks that are going to, their overall demeanor is going to deteriorate while they continue to sit in the county jail. And that's not what we want for anybody. And it increases the likelihood that there could potentially be, danger to the staff, danger to other inmates, and quite honestly, danger to themselves as they deteriorate and languish in a county jail. And that's not a good solution. So that's been the frustration with this amendment going on to House Bill 240 at the very end of the lame duck session.
And again, it was at the very end of lame duck session when they added that. They passed it out of both chambers, and now the governor, he put his signature on it earlier this week. What's next? What can county jails do? Again, Jim Kychek with the Illinois Sheriff's Association.
Well, I would say, one of the things that I talked about was my belief was the way the language was written, that it was directly an end run to the litigation that was out there. Obviously, it's above my pay grade in terms of determination as to whether or not, any of those suits that had been filed by state's attorneys and sheriffs to this point in time, whether or not those will continue or whether or not they become moot. So next steps for us, as frustrated and disappointed as we were with the process, clearly we need to continue to work to find solutions that are going to get people the treatment that they need. So it is every bit of our intention to work with the Department of Human Services to try to find remedies to this. And if they're not providing remedies, one of the commitments that they made in committee and during the process here was that they would report back to the General Assembly on the status of this. So we're going to hold them to that and continue to try to work to make sure, we provide ample care for the folks that truly need it and a better overall comprehensive system moving forward.
So again, still not clear as to if this law the governor signed is going to impact the dozens of lawsuits that are filed against the state for not moving those jail inmates that are deemed unfit for trial to state facilities for evaluation and rehabilitation. State's already been found in contempt on several of these cases. Will they be found in contempt on others moving forward? But the state's also been found in contempt on cases dealing with the Department of Children and Family Services. We talked last week of a report that came out showing that there was a 40% increase of child deaths in custody of DCFS or who have had custody or oversight of them over the past 12 months. That's an increase, again, of 40% child deaths. Well, DCFS now sued again for wrongly confining children in juvenile detention centers. You got headlines out of the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Sun-Times with state officials being sued, allowing foster children to languish in juvenile detention. So the state's agencies dealing with some of the most vulnerable under heavy criticism here for not dealing properly with those who are most vulnerable. Children who are from families that might do them harm, and inmates who committed a crime allegedly not being able to go through justice because they are deemed unfit for trial. So these are some serious issues that continue to beleaguer the state of Illinois.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy